But the only person who's supposed to be one in your life, that's your wife or your husband. So you hear me? That's correct, yes. That's the only person. One wife, one husband. But when it comes to everything, you have multiple. It's better for me to get $1 million revenue from 1,000 customers who are giving me $1,000 each. To me, it's better. Why? If you have one customer giving you $1 million, the danger is when you are no longer in good books with this customer, or when competition manage to actually grab that customer from you, that their business definitely will actually collapse. The most dangerous number in entrepreneurship is 1. Hi guys, my name is Jerry Monya Zungu, aka the Chartered Vendor, and we are here at our favorite podcast. So today I've got a special podcast which I'm actually calling Why African Businesses Die Young. So I released my book on the 28th of June 2025. The book title is called Why African Businesses Die Young. So most of the people have been asking why did you come up with such a title? And it's a book which is being, I tell you, is selling like hotcakes. You need to grab yours if you want to venture into entrepreneurship, or if you want to assume leadership positions in organizations, because most of the organizations, they are dying not because we don't have a good product. They are dying not because they don't have people who have got zeal, people who are willing to work every day. Africans are hustling. But I noticed that we've got serious blunders which we're actually making as Africans. So I'll be touching on chapters, but randomly until we finish our 37 episodes of Why African Business is Dying. So today I'm going to touch on why you should. So it's actually I'm touching on chapter 6 of the book. So if you've got the book, you can open and you can see that on chapter 6 of the book, I'm talking about the danger of the number 1. Okay, so the most dangerous number in entrepreneurship is 1. Why is 1 a dangerous number? So in this chapter, I'm touching on a story which actually happened that, and I'm talking about myself, especially at M&J. We used to have a very good developer. That guy was super intelligent, and he was good. But unfortunately, when someone is good, you start depending solely on that person. And when you depend solely on that person also feels that a sense of entitlement, where they are actually saying nothing can be done to me even if I mess up. So this guy will actually show up whenever he feels like, which actually gave us problems with some of our customers in terms of customer service delivery and delivery of projects on time, which actually affected us in a negative way. So what I'm actually also telling you, I don't want to get down deep into the details of what is in the book, but what you can do as an entrepreneur, what I noticed is, if you are dealing with one person in your organization, most of the problems is you start depending on that one person, and you now have a dependence syndrome, and people die, people quit, people resign, people are also fired. So it's up to you now to actually say, if this role is important in my organization, are you able probably to stay for the next 2 to 3 weeks without that person? And what I've noticed is, whenever you are recruiting, firefighting, let's say, if that crucial position, someone actually leaves, when you're now hiring, you're going to make a serious mistake, and you also make a wrong hire because you're now just taking the better. So if you've got an interview of 20 people, even if all the 20 people suck in whatever the position you're actually hiring for, you're now just going to get someone for the sake of placing someone in your company, which is a serious mistake. And you can actually make even a bigger mistake. So there's a thin line between trying to budget to say, I don't want to have more employees in my organization, but it's a big mistake to have one now, become the only one person who understands probably a certain process, a certain system. So if that person leaves, if that person dies, you need to restart all over again to build systems or to train, which is very expensive. Or when you're now hiring, you're also going to make serious mistakes. So my tip on this one is, even if you've got one accountant in your organization, it's better for you to have an attaché who is actually working with that accountant. Why? Because that attaché can also know one or two things in that business, which will actually also help when you're now when probably that accountant leaves or that accountant is on leave, they took an off day. It will also assist on that one. Have you invested so much into your business, but you're not getting your desired sales? Or you ask yourself whether you are selling the wrong products or services. Maybe you even blame your sales team for not bringing in the money. If your answer to these questions is yes, then you need to revise your sales approach. Selling Like a Vendor is a book that can give you answers to why you have not been making the sales. You can use this book as an individual or for your sales team as a manual on how to make sales. The book has strategies on how to get clients, how to talk to customers, how to negotiate and close the deals, and even how to upsell or cross-sell. This is an investment that can solve all your sales problems. You can order your own copy using the details shown on the screen. Remember, everyone is in sales and sales is for everyone.
Hi there. If you're running a business in Zimbabwe, let me ask you this. When was the last time you read the Labor Act? Don't worry, most SME owners haven't until they are fined. Let's break it down. First, do you have employment contracts for all your staff? Yes, even the one who just helps with deliveries. Verbal agreements won't help you in a labor dispute. Only written contracts will do. Second, are you following proper termination procedures? You can't just say you're fired like it's a Hollywood movie. You need disciplinary hearings, proper notices, and written reasons, or you risk hefty penalties or reinstatement orders. Third, are you remitting your statutory obligations, NASA, payee, and NEC dues on time? Labor officers do routine audits, and backdated non-compliance can cost you thousands in penalties. And here's the kicker. Even if you're a small business with 3 employees in Bari or a boutique in Borodale, the law still applies. The smart move? Outsource your HR and compliance to experts who live and breathe Zimbabwean labor law, like us at M&J Consultants. Trust me, it's cheaper than dealing with a lawsuit from your former receptionist. M&J, building timeless businesses.
Then, my concept on number one is doesn't only apply on employees. It also applies even on customers. You know, over the years, I've dealt with a number of companies, a number of customers. And I've noticed that you will never go wrong if you've got plenty of customers. So, for me, probably for me, it's better for me to actually get $1 million revenue. It's better for me to get $1 million revenue from 1,000 customers who are giving me $1,000 each. To me, it's better. Why? If you have one customer giving you $1 million, the danger is when you are no longer in good books with this customer, or when competition manage to actually grab that customer from you, that their business definitely will actually collapse. Because why? You are over depending on one customer. And on this one, I'm actually also saying, if 30% of your revenue is actually coming from one customer, you're in danger. Because if that customer actually says today, I don't want to work with you, you are in serious danger. But I've noticed that most of the companies, sometimes other companies, 90% of their revenue is dependent on one customer. And on this case also, I'm even saying, I consider those who are also in tenders. There's nothing wrong with doing tenders. But someone who is in tenders and they're dealing with only with government, What about if you wake up today, then you're blacklisted? It means you're out of business altogether. So even if you're dealing with several ministries, there's a danger that government is the one customer. So you rather have as many customers, so that if this customer is now disappointed in your product, if this customer decides today to throw away whatever you have been selling them to them, it means you can still survive with other customers. And it's not only in customers, it's also even on suppliers. If you've got a crucial product, I mentioned a company which is situated in Zambia, which was depending on a product which was coming from Mauritius. And it so happened that they started having issues with the supplier. The supplier couldn't deliver on time. And that company actually went under. And competitors came and overtook that company. Because why? They were only depending on what? On one supplier. So in business, everything which you're doing, even right now, if you're depending on one camera, it means if that camera is dead, you're not going to record the podcast. If you've got one car, chances are if that car is down, you're going to get back into the taxes. So what I'm simply saying is, even right now, as I'm speaking to you, even that's why actually I say to myself, I need to move into Zambia. Just because sometimes you wake up today, Zimbabwe is no longer giving you enough business. Sometimes an SI has been introduced, then you're now out of business. So what should I do? I've got Zambia at least. So never depend on one. Even in a company, never depend on one source. So I'm also saying, guys, let us work in building our businesses, but the only person who is supposed to be one in your life, that's your wife or your husband. So you hear me? That's correct. Yes. That's the only person. One wife, one husband. But when it comes to everything, you have multiple. So thank you so much, guys. And obviously, and also one God. Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much, guys, for this podcast. Thank you for this. So this is a special podcast which I'm actually giving you. It's called Why African Businesses Die Young. So remember to grab your copy. Remember to peruse this. It's helping several entrepreneurs. It's helping most of the people here in Africa. Thank you so much, guys. Until next time, it's Jerry Monya Zungu out.